Gymnastics.
It's a strange feeling, obviously, being back here, walking around the same places that I was at, 2014, 2015, for the Commonwealth Games and for the World Championships.
Brilliant performance. What a competition he's had.
It's such a good reminder of what amazing championships and competitions that they were. The arena every day was packed out. The atmosphere was incredible. I remember getting goosebumps every single time.
Gold medal, number 3 for Max Whitlock.
And it's something that I truly remember as one of the best competitions that I've ever done.
He's absolutely nailed all 6 pieces of apparatus, and Max Whitlock has just landed on a gold medal.
90.631, a world-class score.
Seeing the score come up is crazy, especially for me, as I don't look at scores when I'm going around. I only focus on my job, my routine, and if I can do that, then I'm happy. If a good score comes up, then I'm happy with the score. That feeling's incredible. That's why I do gymnastics, because I absolutely love it. I love competing, I love training, and hopefully I can get many more of those experiences.
Max Whitlock is the pommel horse world champion. What a story for this young man.
Beginning of the year I had glandular fever, which was very tough. I went from being the fittest that I've ever been to literally a week later I couldn't even make one routine. And that was stressful, but it was a time in my career that I learned the most from. I truly believe getting glandular fever has helped me produce the results that I did after. Like going into the World Championships that year and sort of really feeling that, just give it your best shot. And that's what I've done. And coming out with 3 medals at that World Championships was a crazy achievement for us.
Well done, Rhys McLennan. He pips the Olympic champion.
Obviously everyone knows it didn't go 100% to plan, which that is competition, that's how sport works, and that was one of those competitions. I was still happy with what I produced there, the routines I'd done, and actually put a lot of fire in my belly, a lot of motivation to push me forward. I stuck to the same plan, but it just made the pathway just a lot clearer for me and where I want to go and how I need to get there. Most of my pressure does come from myself. I have my targets, I have what I want to do and what I want to hit. But when it comes to competition day, I have to basically just do everything I can to reduce every pressure that I possibly can. If I go in and I'm chilled and I'm relaxed and I go in to enjoy the experience, I've learned that that's where I compete best. Gymnastics is very tough to get the right level. You can either play it safe or you can take a massive risk or you can sit in the middle. We're judged by judges, but they're the same as everyone else. They're humans and they want to see something unique, they want to see something different. So I'm hoping to try and bring that, and that's what I've always tried to do. On the pieces that I do, I try to make something slightly different, slightly unique to make it a bit more creative.
Is it going to come down, do you think, to the difficulty that Max has versus the technique and perhaps superior execution that Rhys may be able to pull off?
Yeah, I mean, if Max obviously chooses to go for that harder routine, then he has that leeway that if there is the slight drop in the execution, he can still come away with that title. But Rhys obviously competed in qualification. We didn't see him during team final, but he's still holding that top spot. Yesterday, no one hit that score of 15.2, so it'll be really interesting. Beliavsky is also kicking at their heels as well, so I think there's going to be a real fight today, which, like you were saying earlier, it's only a good thing. It's only going to make Max stronger, especially going into the World Championship.
Because the next gymnast up to the pommel horse, Max Whitlock, current world and Olympic champion, looking to win back the European title that he got in 2014. As calm as you like. Great Britain's Max Whitlock next to go.
Straight into the handstand with the single leg work. Then picks up into the double leg circle. It's working on the one handle. And again, there's Stockleys or flops. This is a tricky part. The flare. And I was just going to say, he needs to keep his momentum going. This is what I struggled with the other day in the first day of competition. It's a very difficult skill known as the Buznare. Flare into handstand, keep the momentum back down. And he just lost his rhythm. There you can see, up into the handstand, there was a slight pause there. And you can't get that rhythm going once you're in handstand. There you go, you can see. There's only one place you're going, one full mark. Whitlock will struggle to medal in this competition, but gets back on the horse. Full spindle. The flare travelling forwards on the horse and backwards with spindle. You can hear the crowd roar. That's the woo travel, much better today, feet together. Winds up into the handstand pirouette, no problems with the dismount. Well, what a shame, Whitlock, down and out.
What a shame indeed, but such a vastly experienced gymnast. He knows, Chris, he's been there. These things sometimes in gymnastics, they just happen.
They do indeed, and I thought actually today he was going to go well. He seemed relaxed after yesterday's competition, but it doesn't take much of an error for a routine to fail. You only have to be a split second off, as Craig was explaining. And it's such a difficult routine. He's got a difficulty of 6.7, so, you know, you have to pack the difficulty, and the reason the moves are given such a lot of value is because they are very difficult to perform.
Yeah, and it's not as if they are individual moves, you know. Often mistakes come when you're trying to link these moves together to keep that tempo, to keep that momentum, and just build that difficulty score. And he was going all out as far as difficulty is concerned. He qualified with a 6.7, which is huge.
Well, he can actually do a 7 routine. That's how difficult it can go. And for me, the rest of the routine was the best we've seen in this competition. And to be honest, I was a little bit nervous going into this, thinking, you know, can he pull it together? We're hoping for his 3rd routine to be the best one. Fortunately, he's got his personal coach with him, Scott Hahn. He'll come out of this, regroup. This is what
Max.
sport's all about.
Yeah. Not the happiest of European Championships for him. He didn't get the chance to compete in the floor final after qualification, but it will go ahead. It does. It's a score of 14 with a 6.3 difficulty. So that is the score to beat. Next to try and do that is Nikolai Kuksenkov, a Russian gymnast.
On your day, you can dominate these events. Was it just, it was the one mistake today, but was it just one of those things, just chalk up to experience?
Yeah, it was just one of those things, and I'm sure, like, obviously it looks like I just stopped, because a lot of time if you make a mistake on pommel, it just looks like that, but I was completely off balance. One of those things, I went up too fast, but it's something to learn from. I'm happy with my score, with a fall and 5 tenths down on my start score, so hopefully that can, you know, it can give me confidence in a different way moving forward.
We know that, you know, before the last Olympics, there was success at the Olympics, incredible success with the 2 gold medals, but you had glandular fever into the run-up to it. We know you've reduced your program since then. How are things for you at the moment? Because you don't feel quite on your rhythm at the moment.
To be honest, no, I feel all right. I think, you know, gymnastics is, I believe, it is one of the toughest sports out there. Mistakes happen in sport, and they happen today. That's like the other competitors did amazing today. Greece, Croatian guy and Slovenian guy, very happy for them all. So, you know, the top 3 there, really good job. I just need to, you know, go back to the training gym, keep doing what I'm doing. It's all about just sort of training clever, recovering a lot now as well, so I can prolong my career. You know, I want to carry on for another 6 years. My dream is to do another 2 Olympic Games and the major championships in between. So hopefully I've got a lot to look forward to.
We hope so indeed. Does this fire you up even more, you know, with 2 years to go for Tokyo?
It does. And what's really good is that, you know, I've been talking a lot to Scott, my coach, about, you know, our plan, our program, and it might sound a bit funny, but it's on track as well, because we're not looking at just the competitions here and now, we're looking at the bigger picture. And if you take it back to straight after London 2012, I was making mistakes, you know, at the major championships, at Europeans, at Worlds, I was making mistakes, and it's because I jam-packed the difficulty value in to try and give myself experience sort of on the long term, on the big picture, so hopefully it was perfected by the time I got to Rio. I'm trying to mirror that as much as I can. It is obviously harder now, you know, I'm getting older as well, but it's a great thing because I can use the experience I've had, experience I've got, and use it to my advantage as well. So it's about just learning every occasion and moving forward when I can.
Look forward to seeing you back to your best soon. Thanks, Max.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, he speaks so well, doesn't he? And, you know, what he makes the point there about the long game, the big game. And he said another 6 years, 2 more Olympics. Well, 2 of the men on the podium we'll see getting their medals are older than he will be in 6 years' time. So he has got that potential length of career.
Yeah, and he makes a very good point about looking at that bigger picture. I mean, his execution is up at 6'8", 7 when he goes through his full routines. So the fact that he's now got 2 years to consolidate that ahead of Tokyo, that's a great way of looking at it. It's really nice to hear that he's looking at the positive elements of it. It's not just about being disappointed today. Of course he's going to be disappointed today. Max will always be going out to win, but we know his strength of character. We know how good he is on this piece of apparatus, and he would never just give up. And obviously he was talking about when he went up into this, he was just off balance, so if he'd carried on he would have just toppled off backwards. So he goes, puts his foot down, takes the break, and then obviously to still score a 14 with a fall and his difficulty down.
And walking off like that and composing himself, again, a level of maturity, isn't it? And not just trying to kind of fudge something and get straight back on. He takes his time and manages, as you say, to score 14.
He does, and he has got a real good character. He's grown massively since 2012.